What's going on, guys? Evan the Dark Souls enthusiast here, bringing another Dark Souls gameplay commentary on the Xbox 360. This is going to be another set of PvP matches in the Kiln of the First Flame, using the LA character build, which is basically sort of a tweaked, standardized Faith build, Faith caster build, you know, with 50 points into all-in Faith, using a Faith Estoc here for the enhanced backstab damage and stuff like that. Carrying Chaos Shuttle and some other sidearms there in the inventory, and messing around with my shield choice here. This is the Iron Round shield you get from Shiva, which, all in all, I think I opt out of using later. I'm not a huge fan of it. I was just trying it for something different. I think I wound up settling back on my Boulder shield pretty readily. And of course, this guy's chasing me around with Dark Moonblade. I'm getting better about fighting buff users. I'm actually pretty new to PvP in this game. I had a lot more experience with it in Demon Souls, and you know, I've got some video series out so you guys can draw your conclusions for the kind of player I am. But I can definitely say I'm still learning. Like that, I'm trying to get better at recognizing people's patterns to shoot parries off and stuff like that. You can't really visually land parries because of the server lag, so most of parrying just becomes knowing when to try to throw the shield up, as opposed to just trying to time it visually like you might against like zombies and stuff in the Undead Burg. Of course, unfortunately, when I PvP in the Kiln, I run into the same people a lot, and that's fine. You know, I don't mind rematches and stuff, but I feel like it takes away from the variety. This Rither Tech guy has invaded me quite a few times, and of course now I'm back to my Boulder shield. You guys have seen me verse him before. I didn't even realize he had, well, I probably knew, but I just didn't expect him to throw a Wrath of God out there. Didn't do a whole lot of damage, as you can see. When you don't have Dark Moon Talisman, a lot of stacked faith and gear for your Wrath, they don't hurt nearly as bad. So there actually is a commitment in using Wrath of Gods effectively. You have to wear some items, or you have to put a lot of points into faith. And I went to backstab him, and he backstabbed me, and that's fine. Of course, he bowed politely, and I really respect that. Not a huge fan of the people that do not bow. And of course, as a Dark Moonblade, I cannot indict him. But as I was saying about parrying, you can't really trust it visually. There's some really great videos on YouTube you can search for if you're interested. I'll elaborate more on it in some future PvP videos, just so I have that content on my channel as well. But I think my big thing with parrying is just to recognize when they're sort of throwing attacks. Like if their combo and their sword like is a 3 or 4 chain set, wait till the third swing and then try to parry that one, because trying to parry a second swing on a sword is extremely difficult, and trying to parry a first swing is more about knowing when they're going to swing it than actually watching the weapon. The sounds and the visual effects are sort of desynced. Of course, I try to parry there because he likes to charge and hit me, but oh, and the lag stab. You can backstab rolls in Dark Souls, which I don't think makes a whole lot of sense, but he backstabbed me in a roll, and then I get invaded by him again, you know, maybe 5 minutes later. So here's a rematch against this guy. He's using the Moonlight Sword, which I actually have a caster character that's in like level 80, and you know, is about ready to hit the kill and just have to get through a couple more areas. So I've got some characters that are sort of on the threshold of becoming PvP ready. I've got a Moonlight Greatsword caster. I've got a Black Knight sort of character build that has, you know, all the big Black Knight weapons ready to go. Of course, Ellie's ready to come back to the Kiln. So I'm starting to have an actual variety of characters to PvP with, which I'm pretty excited about. I'll bring more varied content at that point. Something I want to speak to, since this is sort of the wrap-up of this set of PvP sets I've been doing, is some of you guys are requesting like another Let's Play, and you know, I'm all about doing those. I like Let's Plays, but since I don't commentate them live, and I'm considering doing so, it takes a lot of time to put together a Let's Play. And you have to show a lot of areas. There's a lot of content in Dark Souls to show, and that's just made worse by the fact I'm not commentating them live. So if I play for 3 hours and just grind out like Lost Izalith and say Crystal Archives in the same night, then I have to commentate both of them, then render it, then upload it. I'm not complaining, I'm just saying like doing Let's Plays is a very time-consuming process. And if he tries to roll through my Wrath of God and backstab me, that's the appropriate decision. Being afraid of Wrath of Gods is a good way to make sure you never beat Wrath of Gods, because you can see them opt into their talisman, and that's when you need to know you need to either mash roll and get away from them, or mash roll and go in, and that just depends on what you're comfortable with and how much life you have. And of course, I'm using some bad spells here. I got the heart attack on the Estoc, which actually has a lot more range than I thought it did, so I've been using that a little more. You know, I've made some changes. You'll see me that I back up a lot in these PvP videos. Some people like to message me at the end of matches like, what, are you scared, bro? I'm like, it's not a matter of fear, it's a matter of trying to play correctly. Of course, that guy lands a backstab on me, which was unfortunate. probably because I'm trying to shoot a mid-force at him. But then he does his running greatsword moveset, which leaves you really open, and he gets punished for it. So clearly these matches are being defined by backstabs between the two of us. Get my free humanity here in Souls. The kiln is actually a great place to farm your character up if you're looking to get a couple more levels in before you go to New Game Plus. I was thinking I was going to release some videos of my New Game Plus stuff. Probably not a full New Game Plus Let's Play, because I think that'd be a little dull, but I am going to maybe do the boss fights in New Game Plus, just so you guys can see the transition in difficulty. I'm actually working on a new character that has sort of like a new character build coming on. Dex Faith Hybrid, pretty common, somewhat cookie cutter, but I can bring my own unique armor combos and stuff like that, so I want to bring that along for you guys to check out. I'm looking forward to that. Of course, this is the same guy again. For some reason, I just got a series of invasions by this guy. That's cool. I mean, he was pretty manner, and he had a neat character building. He's got the... I love playing against the greatsword there. Moonlight greatsword, great weapon. I like to use it. And I like to play against it. Sorry about the video editing there. A little problem. I had to correct some commentary. Of course, you'll see that he's not really doing any damage right now. I have Greater Magic Barrier on, which is pretty lamers to use against a Moonlight Sword, because they're pretty much completely stuck once you use it at that point. They can't do any damage. They'll have to wait for the buff. They'll have to wait for the barrier to wear off and just kind of stay away from me for a little bit, or they'll have to change to a sidearm until it wears off. Neither of which is like a big deal for them, but it does put them in a really cheesy situation. Of course, I'm not recasting it. I saw how effective it was. You know, stopping 90% of a weapon that does 100% magic damage is, you know, understandably extremely effective. So that's kind of where I stopped at that point, is just to cast it once. I could try to run away and put it back on to become basically immune to his primary weapon, but that's just really effort intensive. Of course, he's running off the Grass Crest shield to keep for that low weight thing and that high stamina regen. Really a strong shield on a lot of different kinds of characters. And once again, I cannot begin to explain how useless I find mid-force against any opponent with the Darkwood Grain Ring. You can just roll out no problem. Like, you pretty much have to wait for them to take a really slow attack that you can punish, which doesn't happen often. Of course, he charges directly into a Lightning Spear, which is unlike this guy. He seems, you know, like he wouldn't fall for that very often. So I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe he's trying to hit a parry or something, but I roll right under that. It's really hard to PvP with casting magic. I mean, it's effective if it hits, but it can be really hard to time your hits and stuff like that. And of course, I'm just playing my patient game, and I think he just kind of throws in the towel here. He's at about no life, and he just stands still. I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but either way, he lets me finish him off. I'm not real sure why. I think, you know, at any point you can really come back with a backstab or something like that, but he decided he'd give it a quit, so I give him a shrug just out of curiosity. Alright guys, thanks for watching. That's the end of these videos. Some more PvP content coming from some different character builds and stuff like that. As always, I really appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. Alright, everyone, take care.